The Sioux Award is the highest honor given by the UND Alumni Association and Foundation for achievement, service, and loyalty. Since its inception in 1949, this distinguished award has been presented to leaders in government and business, high achievers in various industries and professions, and alumni who have dedicated their lives in service to others. Our first Sioux Award recipient of the night is Gary Hagen. Gary recently retired after a 42-year career spent at Mayville State University. For the last 12 years, he has served as the university's president. His passion for education and the joy he gets from seeing his students succeed make him a deserving recipient of the Sioux Award.
Gary Hagen is originally from Aneta, North Dakota. He received his undergraduate, master's, and doctoral degrees from the University of North Dakota.
I think Gary represents just the best of people that come out of North Dakota and out of UND.
For 21 years, Dr. Hagen taught at Mayville State University. During the next 21 years at college, he took on administration positions, and he spent the last 12 of those years as the 16th president of the university. During his presidency, Dr. Hagen created a new climate at Mayville State.
I think it's a completely fair statement to make that Dr. Gary Hagen saved Mayville State University.
After enjoying a long, successful, and meaningful career at Mayville State University, Dr. Hagen is enjoying retirement with his wife, Deborah, a 1978 UND graduate.
Debbie and Gary Hagen and family, we are incredibly proud of you.
Gary Hagen, for always being an advocate for students and setting an example of how to get faculty, staff, and administrators working together with students' best interests in mind, please come forward to accept your Sioux Award.
Thank you. I wasn't nervous until now. But thank you, UND Foundation, the selection committee, and UND itself for this honor. I'd also like to acknowledge President Wynn and those of you from higher education and the legislators in attendance. And congratulations to all the other Sioux Award recipients as well. And thank you to my friends who came, and to my family members who were able to be here. My wife of 45 years, Debbie, son Mark, his wife Jess, son Stephen, and his wife Kimberly. It is an honor to be recognized, but it's a lot more special when people you know come and help you share it. I was quite shocked when Deanna called and said I was receiving this award. I'm truly humbled and especially honored to be here. And I'm mostly grateful because this award speaks far less about me and much more about all the dedicated employees who work so hard with me to accomplish so much. UND was the first college I ever thought about attending. My counselor at Boys State was a tall, lanky guy named Phil Jackson. You've heard of him? Okay. He was playing basketball for UND, and he was willing to share some thoughts about the school with me. Coincidentally, Phil was a UND Sioux Award recipient last year. So only in North Dakota higher education could UND's most famous alumni and one of its least famous alumni come together in an event like this. I found UND to be very large, coming from a town of under 1,000, and I wasn't sure I'd fit in. But I enrolled in a records management course and met my instructor, Dr. Mark Langamo, who's always already been on the screen. He was a young, energetic professor, and little did I know that he would take an interest in this country kid. He became my advisor, mentor, and valued friend, and ultimately be the reason I ended up in higher education. And from him, I learned that people matter the most, and treating others well would be the key to getting along in life. Thank you, Mark. He's here tonight. But a couple of UND stories. An unusual learning opportunity occurred, and I was waiting at the stop sign on campus. I was just sitting there. I just received my first nice car, and I was ready to cruise the campus to show it off. Suddenly, a car comes flying around the corner and drives right into my driver's door. It bounces off, continues down the street, but after a few seconds it stopped, started backing up. I was totally enraged. I couldn't wait to give this guy a piece of my mind. But then, as the driver of the car extricated himself, it became obvious we would not see eye to eye. It would be kind of like eye to thigh. The man was huge, human Tyrannosaurus. So it was decision time to me. I had to learn to make some decisions. Option one would have me jump all over him and risk being pile-driven into the pavement. Option two would have me listening to him and trying to be understanding. It turns out the driver's name was Mike Deutsch. Heard of him too. If that name is familiar to some of you, you'll know he was a star fullback on the football team back in 1970. I let him talk, and he indicated he was truly sorry. And after listening to him, I understood the situation and found I actually liked him. And just for trivia's sake, as we talked, each one of his thighs was bigger around than my waist. So this experience taught me it's best not to jump to conclusions. It's important to listen to all sides and to weigh all aspects of a situation before forming an opinion. And I suppose option one is the reason I'm alive today. I learned another lesson shortly after. I joined a new fraternity in my freshman year. It was one designed to end some of the negative elements like hazing and some of the things associated with fraternities. It was to be a new positive influence on campus, so I thought I'd give it a try. The next year I found myself president of this fraternity, and as luck would have it, some concerns developed in the Greek community. And as a fraternity president, I was invited to visit the campus president, who was Tom Clifford at the time. I didn't know what to expect, but I found a man who didn't use his power to threaten or intimidate, but he let the power of his position speak for itself. He was attentive and interested in what I had to say. And I was amazed at his ability to gather information while keeping me at ease. I almost felt important. As I left his office, I remember thinking that if I'm ever in charge of an organization, I'm going to try be just like that guy. But little did I know that I'd one day be a university president in the same higher education system as Dr. Clifford, and I'd have many opportunities to replicate situations like that myself. So I hope I did him some justice. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my time in graduate school. Besides endless case analysis, I learned how to behave as a professional by watching people like Dr. Lemon in education and Dr. Denny Albert in business. Denny's here, I ran into him somewhere. But now it was time for me to put my education to work and see what I could do. I imagine my career at Mayville State's the reason I'm here tonight, so I'd like to share a couple of thoughts before I close. I particularly enjoyed the students, and they kept me motivated and interested every day. And although I was a tenured full professor, I still longed for the calling that brought me to UND in the first place, and that was to learn how to run an organization. The current president was leaving, and it was very clear that the next president would be significantly challenged by a campus in somewhat distress. I was named president in 2006 and was eager to put my management philosophies, which I honed at UND, to work. I had a dependable, dedicated faculty and staff, and a supportive community. Together, we came up with new plans, goals, and attitudes. And I also need to thank the governor at the time, John Hoven, for helping me acquire some badly needed funding. These funds were critical in turning our campus around. We soon had the highest satisfaction ratings in the North Dakota university system, restored morale, we retired all our debts, created a beautiful facility, and now are experiencing our 8th consecutive year of all-time record enrollments. So the benefits of supporting and empowering employees became very evident. No one works alone, so it's only fitting that I accept this award on behalf of all the dedicated employees who made any success I had possible. So I'll close my remarks by saying I was honored to serve the state of North Dakota and to work with many professionals from my alma mater, UND, at the same time. It's now a great privilege to travel around the state and encounter so many former students who work, own homes, and raise families in our state. North Dakota is better for this, and I thank UND for making me better. I'm grateful for this honor, and I'll treasure it for the rest of my life. Thank you.